Hi everyone, I'm Sam Bettens. It is 73 degrees in Newport Beach, California, and I made sure to find a spot where you guys could see some palm trees in the background because I know you love it. We managed to escape the heat again for a couple of days to meet up with some of our favorite people in the world from Johnson City, Tennessee. My buddy Rico calls this my vlog, which sounds so much better than vlog if you think about it. It gives me great pleasure to call him out on this because it makes him sound like he's from Tennessee, even though he's a Dominican Republic dude who grew up in New York City. I was asked yesterday to name 3 pros and 3 cons about my transition. In a way, it's all cons.
I'm in pros.
This is what I want, it's what I've been waiting for, and it feels more right all the time. I have no regrets, no second thoughts, and very little doubt. From the outside, it may seem like I'm almost there, or at least 85% there. I go through the day as Sam, everyone's behind me, and I kind of already look like a guy anyway. For me, it's more like I'm 15% there, and I'm only going as high as 15 because having my kids call me dad and my mom call me son is really something special. But on a body dysphoria level, it's more like I'm 5% there. The man I went to see staring back at me in the mirror that shows the shape of my body, still seems like a fantasy and really far away sometimes. Rationally, I understand that in the span of a lifetime, this is just a flash, and like everything else, this shall pass. But emotionally, I'm really having to pick myself up sometimes. I'm trying to keep things real on this vlog, so I don't want to downplay the times when I struggle and I feel like I have to be strong. Before my voice changes and my body changes, I feel like I'm acting sometimes, pretending to be a guy. And there are days when putting that binder on just flat out sucks. I don't know if this is the right analogy, but imagine you fall in love with someone head over heels and that person falls in love with you and you want to spend every minute of every day together and it feels just right and it's nothing like anything you've ever experienced in your life. And you know you want to marry this person and spend the rest of your life together. And then all of a sudden, someone tells you, okay, you can have all that, but you have to wait 6 months. You can't touch this person. You can't talk to this person. You know you'll be together someday, but you just can't yet. So now you know what you're missing, and it hurts. That's kind of what it feels like to me right now. Even though I'm happy about what's happening and optimistic about how it will be, it's still hard work, in a way, on a daily basis. Because it's gotten harder to be me and look like me now that I know who I can be. Does that make sense? I'm reluctant to complain because I would hate to sound ungrateful or negative, but I'm not just making these videos for me. I know there's someone out there watching thinking like, thank you so much for being honest about how you feel, because I was feeling the same thing and it feels good to know that I'm not alone. Throughout this week, I've asked myself a few less than pressing yet mildly entertaining questions. Question number 1. Can you be a guy and a very light eater? Let me explain myself. I'm a very light eater. I'm also a very boring and picky eater and a vegetarian. I could survive on muesli, brown rice, and steamed vegetable for the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. I hate garlic, I don't eat fast food, I shy away from anything that is too oily, too creamy, too buttery, I rarely trust lettuce, I drink an occasional beer, but I'm not a drinker. I definitely don't do hard liquor, I stay away from soft drinks, coffee has too much caffeine, and if I do eat a piece of chocolate, it is 72% and one little square. As a woman, this was pretty much generally accepted. It's a pain in the ass to cook for me, and I'm not a great partner to explore new cuisines with on a trip. But people generally left me alone. When I worked at the Johnson City Fire Department, for example, my womanness was the perfect excuse to not have to partake in Hamburger Fridays, when one of the guys would create what I like to call a vegetarian's worst nightmare out of half a cow, a shitload of garlic, and probably an entire jar of barbecue sauce, to result in burgers the size of dinner plates. Just looking at these things gave me stomach cramps. If I had been a guy rookie, I would have had to get in there and eat that thing, or I would have lost all respect on day 1, with no chance of ever earning it back. So now I'm going to be a dude who prefers a decaf Earl Grey with a hint of steamed soy milk over a regular cup of coffee. Number 2, will I get better deals at car dealerships? I'm in the market for a new vehicle, but I may just wait until my voice drops. I know it's a cliche, but it might save me from all the mansplaining I would normally get. I could pretend I know about cars, and they might just take me seriously. Another check on the pros list. Number 3, what do I do about handshakes? In Belgium, it's pretty straightforward, especially around musicians. They kiss everybody, man or woman, it doesn't matter. In the States, though, depending on the relationship, it could be a regular handshake, a bro hug, a fist bump, a real hug. I haven't had the lifetime of being a guy and having a good feel of what's appropriate. Also, with handshakes not only being culture-related, but also age-related, that makes it even more complicated. I may just start kissing everyone on the lips. Kind of a one-size-fits-all thing. I was thinking the other day about how much femininity I still project. And all joking aside about handshakes and eating habits, this is kind of an interesting subject. Because I posit some things and wonder if that's what a man would do, when maybe I shouldn't pause at all. The men I admire, the husband and dads I aspire to be, their masculinity has nothing to do with bro lingo or posturing or anything even close to macho behavior. What makes them great men is things like their willingness to spend real time with their kids beyond the olden day dad's quick tickle. The way they respect their wives and mothers and have the same expectations of their daughters as they do for their sons. Their unwavering friendship that goes so far beyond appearances. Those are my kind of guys. The guys that aren't defined by their muscles or their cars. I must admit, I would love to get stronger, and I do love cars. We all have hobbies, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of guy who can say sorry, or can admit he was kind of a dick in his 20s, or can tell a moving story about a mentor he had when he was younger and how he cried when she died. I know these guys, I love these guys, and they are showing me all kinds of ways to be a man. Basically, I'm already the man I'm going to be. And my feminine side that likes holding someone's newborn baby, or he can sit with his girlfriends and yap about everything and nothing, sipping on a cup of chamomile tea, is part of me and always will be. That's the man I'm going to be, the man that I already am. No need to overthink it, although I do, all the time. In other news, Rex Rebel is going to be in the studio next week. I'll try to film a little and give you guys a backstage peek into what goes into a day of recording. I'll also give the other Rebels a proper introduction. They deserve it. Rex Rebel and the future it may hold is a huge anchor for me right now. It's everything I love about being a musician. Sitting in a room with my best friends, making music together, struggling through trying to write a chorus you can't get right, and then all of a sudden you do, and you look at each other, and there's this tangible feeling that this is going to be awesome. It's a blast. It's new, it's exciting, it's unknown, it has so much potential. And it's such a long shot at the same time. If this project fails, it still will never be a failure because it has already given me so much. I discovered I can do other things besides rock music. I've discovered I absolutely love playing bass. And I've tapped into the enthusiasm of a 20-year-old who just started his first band in his parents' garage with a couple of buddies. Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. Next week, I will delve into the questions I had while questioning. Basically, my Sam self is going to talk to my Sarah self. We are waiting for the airplane. I read an article in the New York Times about a transgender woman who works for Goldman Sachs who also came out later in life. She said the feeling she had that she was always different was vague yet strong, and I could really relate to that. I can't say I always knew I was trans, but I can say that there was this underlying truth. Another layer that was part of me always, even if it was subconscious. Say hi to my boy Jed, everybody.
Hi.
The questioning part is hard, and I hope by sharing that with you, you have an appreciation of what transgender people go through. And if you are trans or questioning your gender, this helps you in a small way. That's it for me this week. If you can believe it, I am getting on a plane to Belgium again. 18 hours to look forward to. If you're traveling, be safe. If you're staycationing, don't do too much laundry. If you're working, you're not alone. I will be thinking of you as my knees touch the seat in front of me. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when the next one drops. I may take a little summer break from weekly vlogs, just to keep it fresh. I'll let you know when that happens though. In the meantime, I love you, I appreciate you. Hang loose.